Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up. Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to What If Naruto Got Stronger Every Single Time a Shadow Clone Was Destroyed Part 4. Yes, anyway, I'm not going to give you no excuse, it is an excuse. Basically, my kneecap popped out again when I was from school, so it was a bit awkward for me to make videos because of where my desk was set up. But thankfully, because of all these Zenkai boosts I'm getting from all these injuries, and my healing factor is just like multiplied. So this is actually the quickest I've ever healed from an injury. I'm pretty good walking on it now and all this. But I'm trying to make, it's New Year's right now. And my resolution was to grind out YouTube, but then my knee happened. But from now, that's my resolution, to grind out YouTube. And if I don't stick to it, I apologise, but I actually am going to try. Because I'm starting to think this YouTube thing ain't for me. And that's not just me saying that. I mean, my mindset right now, I know it sounds like, oh, excuses, but I mean my mindset right now is just being really lazy, and I hate it. But I'm not going to drag on this video because my intros are way too long lately. But because of that, there's no lag for the next part. It will be out tomorrow, hopefully. And just so it is out tomorrow, I'm recording the second part today. The next part today, so we'll be out tomorrow actually. But other than that, let's just jump straight on into it. I'm not going to give you no I'm not going to give you no horrible recap because what's the last part? Other than that, I'll give you that actually. Last time we left off, Naruto saw Jiraiya peeking. They had a little scrap. Naruto knocked Jiraiya out. Other than that, let's get into it. After Naruto launched this insanely powerful new jutsu, orange sort of lightning mixed with fire style, he just looked at Jiraiya's unconscious body and stands over it, smirking, thinking, "You stupid old man, why can't you just listen? I don't like hitting old people." Well, that's when Naruto's gut tells him something's off, almost like a sixth sense. 1 second guys, my game chair's flipped. And that's when Kurama says, "Kid, it's not over." The somewhat unconscious body beneath him passed into a cloud of smoke just to reveal a log. And Naruto looks up to see a completely unharmed Jiraiya flying down and hits Naruto over the head. This is the first time Naruto's ever been hit properly like this, at least for a long time, that's actually shaking him. He feels his consciousness somewhat fade, but he snaps back into reality with the help of Kurama and catches himself before he hits the floor. Jiraiya impressed with this, as this kid's been able to withstand 2 attacks that were intended to knock him out. But now something's switched in Naruto, he's different. This is a fight he knows he's going to enjoy. And for those who comment in, blah blah blah, what about Kakashi? Kakashi isn't weak. I never said Kakashi was weak. Kakashi isn't going to go all out against someone who just became a genin, is he? And Naruto looks up with that weird glow in his eyes, realizes if he's ready for a fight. And this just to see that Jiraiya's gone again. He's taken a deep breath this time, and he asks Kurama for help. Taking a deep breath, he suddenly realizes with Kurama's help he can sense where people are, at least sense their emotions. And he sensed someone with an intent to attack him coming from the right. Still with his eyes closed, Naruto blocks to the right. Shocking Jiraiya. Jiraiya's only thought was, how is this kid, with his eyes closed, blocking my attack? 1 second guys, I need a drink. But yeah, and then he just slowly takes a deep breath. Naruto's in his mode, he's in the zone. Before Jiraiya can jump away, Naruto's grabbed his wrist and slammed into the ground. Next thing you know, Naruto's jumped up with a flying spin kick ready to slam it into Jiraiya's chest. Jiraiya's easily blocked him, and doing handstands that Naruto can barely react to, sends somewhat to be like a weird crater that slams into, not a crater, a boulder that slams into Naruto's stomach. Earth style, Earth prison jutsu. Jiraiya creates a Earth prison around Naruto, and Naruto thinks this is nothing, but as he attempts to break out, he realizes Naruto realizes that Jiraiya's placed a seal on this, and it's slowly draining Naruto's chakra out from beneath him. Jiraiya thinks the fight's over, which he needs to stop doing, as we all know it's not. But he doesn't realize the amount of chakra that Naruto has. Naruto starts laughing from inside the prison and says, "You think this will stop me, you old pervert? Let's see how you like this." Naruto lifts his hands in the air inside the prison, prison. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna call it the prison jutsu. And they start glowing blue as with just pure chakra, and Naruto slams it down into the ground. He's overloading the pure chakra until it snaps, making a huge explosion of chakra, breaking the jutsu that was in and also sending Jiraiya flying backwards. Naruto's standing there breaking a sweat a little bit. It isn't easy to override a jutsu a seal with chakra like this, as some of these seals are made to contain tailed beasts, so for Naruto to do this is saying a lot. Jiraiya just completely shocked. Suddenly he realises that this isn't a knockout. He needs to tell Naruto who he is, and he needs to get Naruto to be a student. But Naruto isn't having none of this. He does hand signs. Majestic flame jutsu. We all know what this is. It's on a lower scale than what Madara does. But it's about, I'd say, 10 times bigger than a normal fireball jutsu. Jiraiya sees this, is just shocked, and he ducks down underneath the ground, just like we use on the Earth style, and he's swimming through the ground. He's thinking, how can I get this kid, who I'm meant to be a legendary Sanin? I can't even beat this Genin. He really is Minato's son. And Naruto, with the help of Kurama yet again, can sense that Jiraiya's underneath the ground. He takes a deep breath, slowly thinking of all the options that he can use, and decides, you know what? He wants to hide from me. I'm gonna go join him. Naruto dives underneath the ground as well. Jiraiya, who can't sense where people are, is actually at a jump scale, and Naruto. Now, what Saitama does to that mole in One Punch Man, he just pops up. Jiraiya gets absolutely terrified, and due to this, he releases some more powerful jutsu that he didn't mean to, such as iron rods. I'm completely talking out of my arse right now, but just get used to it. He does iron signs, and the ground around them turns to somewhat iron and ties Naruto down underneath him. Naruto thinks this is bad. He can't keep this jutsu up for long without being able to keep his body moving freely. If he gets stuck underneath this, he'd probably get crushed. Jiraiya, realising this, panics, thinking, what can he do? But before he can even attempt the jutsu, Naruto, using one hand to create hand signs, which he learnt from Haku, yells, "Windbreaker jutsu!" and he roars, similar to what he does when he's in a Nine-Tails cloak, but this is actual jutsu this time. And the ground underneath your eyes explodes up. A huge crater is formed with Naruto standing in it, still covered in these metal chains. Jiraiya thinks this is bad, we need to knock him out. And he summons up two frogs. Two old frogs at this. We all know who these are. One of these frogs does hand signs and sends a massive soundtrack rate at Naruto. This actually gets Naruto down a bit, as Naruto starts to sound unbearable. But he just takes it. He tanks it and tanks it and tanks it. In his head thinking, with his distorted time zone, thinking, this old man just isn't normal old man. He's stronger than nearly all the ninjas I've ever fought. And it seemed like he's still holding back against me, so he clearly doesn't want to hurt me. Who could this be? Finally it clicks in his head that that's probably Jiraiya, the legendary Sanin. The toads, the jutsu, the white hair. And Naruto finally realises that his hunch was right. This is going to be a good fight. Jiraiya and Naruto are currently thinking the opposite things. Jiraiya's thinking, I need to stop this fight. Naruto's thinking, I need to keep it going. And as he's in this distorted time zone, he finally figures out what he can do. Time to show Jiraiya what he's made of, as he wants Jiraiya to take him on as a student. But he knows that this is nearly impossible, as the only two people that's ever done... Actually, Naruto only knows of one person, and that is the fourth Hokage. Naruto asks Kurama for some chakra. He doesn't need it, he just wants to show off. And Naruto gets covered in the one-toed cloak. Jiraiya sees this, panics, and Naruto's losing control underneath this pain of the sound. And gets the toad to stop it. I forgot the toad's name, don't hate me. I don't really care. And when this happens, Naruto smirks and says, Jiraiya the legendary Sanin, that was your only chance to win this fight. Jiraiya's shocked. He's never heard of someone going berserk but still being able to speak. That's when he realizes Naruto isn't going berserk. He has control over his Nine-Tails chakra. The chains in Naruto begin to break, and he starts roaring, letting off pure chakra. This is blowing Jiraiya back, burning him. And Naruto amps up. He's decided that if he wants to show off, he isn't going to lay a hand on Jiraiya. He's going to beat him with his pure chakra. And he's just forcing up more and more. And he says, this is enough. And he adds fire style to his Kiwi choke. Yes, guys, speech impediment, and it really annoys me when I can't just say simple words. As I do have a little bit of a script for this episode, but it sounds like I don't because I'm just going, it really... Sorry guys, it's been a long day. So bear with me, and if you suddenly just hear a massive bang, it means I broke something because I've lost my nut. And with this, the heat that Jiraiya's enduring becomes a lot worse. But he knows what he has to do. He's already wrote out on a little piece of paper a seal that he made himself that will suppress all of Naruto's chakra for the span of 10 seconds before it will get burnt up. And he's finally managed to get in front of Naruto. And he's shaken. He's nearly about to pass out himself. And Naruto's sticking to what he said. He's not going to lay a hand on Jiraiya. He's using his pure chakra. And starting to realise that he's underestimated this legendary Sanin. And just as this seal touches his head, Naruto realises he still has a lot to learn. He's too cocky. He needs to be humble. He needs to get back to his ninja way. He needs to be a true ninja. And he passes out due to all his chakra being suppressed. This would normally kill someone. But this is Naruto. He's the main character. He has plot armor. And he has enough just chakra circling around his body as it is. He can't use it, but it's enough to keep him alive. And at the same time, Jiraiya passes out as well. But at this time, the Third Hokage sent his army squad just to see Naruto and Jiraiya both laying there. While Jiraiya looks a lot more injured, they feel like Naruto's dead as they can't sense any chakra from him. And they pick him up immediately and get him to the hospital. They get him to the hospital in a matter of 6 seconds. And they focus all their immediate physical healing on Jiraiya and the chakra healing on Naruto. But in 3, 2, 1, the seal on Naruto's head burns up as it's been overloaded with chakra, as Jiraiya already knew what was going to happen, and he sits up, still in his battle mode, just as he's in hospital and thinks, that old man really got it on me, huh? And he looks over, just to see Jiraiya's burnt body. He immediately feels bad. He went too far, he knows it. And all the people around him are shocked as he was declared as dead. He had no chakra in his body. And he rushes over Jiraiya and places his hand in his body. He surges Naruto's chakra through him, healing all his injuries, even previous scars Jiraiya had. And Jiraiya sits up. He looks over at Naruto and says, "Kid, be my student." And we're going to pause it there. I'm not going to tell you what happens. We're going to actually have a little bit of a cut over to Sasuke and Sakura. Sakura's there. Not Sakura, for God's sake. Sasuke and Kakashi. They're training crazy. As Kakashi knows that if he doesn't keep up with his training, Naruto will surpass him and he's lost his goal as being a teacher. And Sasuke wants to change it just to be able to keep up with Naruto. And they're training relentlessly. Sasuke with his Sharingan, and he's slowly learning the ways of Chidori. But he's learning it far quicker. due to Naruto's presence making everyone that he wants being able to learn quicker. And they're all noticing this. Kakashi's saying these few days of training have been giving me more results than these past few months. My chakra supplies increased. The speed I can get jutsu fast have increased. The chakra cost has decreased. And I've also been getting a lot better using my Sharingan, and the chakra drain is almost not even there anymore. As this was the biggest problem for Kakashi that he ever had. His chakra drained so quickly when using the Sharingan, as he wasn't a real Uchiha. But now that effect seems to be almost gone. And with Sasuke, his Sharingan is coming on quickly as well. I don't even remember what I said in the last video, but... one second guys, I need to stretch my knee. Ouch. And... I'm saying right now he's at 2 tomorrow in each eye. But, unlike Canon, his reaction time is far superior, which we will see in a minute. And it's finally happened, weeks earlier than it should have. Sasuke's got off a successful Chidori, and yes, while it's drained nearly all of his chakra, still having, I'd say, 2 weeks to practice it is a huge power boost to Canon. And Sakura, she's training in something that we're not going to at all get into yet. Something not even in canon. As unlike my usual tiers, I do want to make Sakura a bit stronger than usual. And as a lot of you guys do know, I actually hate Sakura. Not for all the other reasons that you actually might probably is. But I just hate Sakura because... I just hate her because how ungrateful she was. That's all I'm going to get into it. But yeah, now we're back to Naruto. In the hospital still. Naruto smirks and says, "Old man, I was just about to say the same thing to you, except I was going to ask to be a student." They're both smirking as they're both knowing they're going on the ride for their life. And training arc begins. As we have 2 weeks before the training exams. And Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura are gonna abuse these 2 weeks. The first thing that Jiraiya wants to get started on was the Rasengan. Not the Rasengan, I mean the Nine-Tails Chakra. As he wanted to see what Naruto could do with it. And he's actually amazed at what Naruto tells him, that he's friends with the Nine-Tails and that he can use his chakra at will. But hearing this, Jiraiya wants to ask if they can do a full like Tail Beast Link or whatever it's called. And Naruto says, "No, I can only use this weird red cloak." And Jiraiya says, "I see. That's something we'll work on. But it's not a priority. As using that, you'd probably be able to beat any of the people in the tuning exam, again in the exam anyway. Wait, tuning exams, yeah." And then he says, "How about we teach you a new jutsu?" Jiraiya puts out his hand and creates a Rasengan. Naruto does the exactly same thing. And he says, "I learned it from this weird scroll." Jiraiya hearing this just starts laughing and says, "You stole the sacred scroll ceiling." What a funny guy you are, Naruto. And Jiraiya's just going through the list of things that he can teach Naruto. And he gets stuck. There's nothing else he can teach him. Then it clicks in his head. Sage mode! But Jiraiya automatically retracts that statement, as... Why should he teach Naruto this year? He doesn't know. He doesn't even know a lot of Jonin that can use this, except for Orochimaru and Tsunade. So, and yes, if you ask me, I say Tsunade's Byakugo still with Slug Sage mode. I'm pretty sure that's what it is anyway, but that's what I take it as. So if you ever get confused when I say Slug Sage mode, that's what I mean. And now Jiraiya's contemplating this for himself in deep thought, and Naruto's doing the same thing. There's not a lot this guy can teach me, is there? Maybe I should look for another teacher, but keep him for the basics. Jiraiya looks at Naruto's face and he can just sense that he's going to lose this student, as he hasn't told them at all about how they're related, etc. So Jiraiya finally makes a decision. He is going to teach Naruto Sage Mode. Before Naruto can even react, Jiraiya grabs him and does the hand signs and teleports him to Mount Nyoboku. Gawabunta is there. Actually, sorry, I haven't watched Naruto in so long, I forgot all these names. But a massive toad is there. It says, Jiraiya, why are you here? And Jiraiya just shows this little kid. Jiraiya just shows Naruto and says, "Well, I'm gonna teach him Sage Mode." This massive toad, who's puffing on a pipe, just gets shocked, saying, "This little kid, you're gonna teach him Sage Mode? Really, Jiraiya?" And that's until this massive toad senses Naruto's chakra. The amount it is, the purity of it. Oh, 1 second, guys. I actually feel sick. And just pure purity of it. And says, you know what, Jiraiya? You might be right there yet. And on that, guys, please like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. And I actually feel really sick. Hit the like button. Make sure you share with your friends and family. Subscribe. Get me 100k subs before 2023. And yeah, peace out, guys. Hope you do enjoy. See you in a bit.